PK here. For this segment of PK Chats, I'm going to talk about types of games that I think are incredibly undervalued when it comes to collecting, and kind of underrated as well. The first platform I want to talk about is the Atari 2600. Atari games are very cheap and affordable. I think a lot of the reason is because of the graphics. But graphics aren't everything, and it doesn't necessarily make a game bad because the graphics aren't maybe at least at the NES level. The Atari is highly underrated, and it's very affordable to collect for. I've walked into stores where games were only like $1 a piece, honestly. You could probably pick up for $1. There are definitely a few games here or there that may command a little more money. A good example would be Mario Brothers for the Atari 2600, or Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Jr. Chase the Chuck Wagon obviously is like that rare game or whatever that's worth a substantial amount of money as far as Atari games go. But for the most part, yeah, most Atari games are very affordable, and I think it's highly an undervalued platform, and definitely worth collecting for. So, especially if you're getting started in collecting, that is a platform I would highly recommend. Up next, sports games. Most people, when they walk in their local thrift store or go to a flea market, they think, oh man, all these sports games, they should all be like 99 cents. With the exception of a game like Snoopy Silly Sports maybe, or even Blades of Steel. Blades of Steel is an awesome sports game and incredibly underrated. And I understand why it goes for, $8 to $10 usually. It's a really fun game. Even if you're not a fan of hockey, this is an enjoyable game. I really enjoy the part where you get to fight other hockey players, and if you beat them in a fight, you actually don't go to the penalty box, they do. I think is really awesome. I'm also a big NASCAR fan, as a lot of people know, and NASCAR Dirt to Daytona for the PS2 is a game I would highly recommend, or the GameCube version as well, or I think there's an Xbox version also. If you're going to play a NASCAR game, that's the game to play, in my opinion, as far as the different disciplines of racing go. Again, a lot of times when people go to look at the sports games, they completely write them off and don't realize that a lot of there are sports games out there that are actually not only rare, but actually are valuable. A great example would be NCAA Basketball 2K3 on the GameCube. Actually goes on the internet for anywhere between $50 to $100. Why? I'm not sure exactly. I think it's maybe less common or something like that. I'm not sure why that game commands so much money. But if you're somebody who's going for a complete GameCube collection or whatever, that would be maybe a harder one later to find. So definitely, that's one I would check for when you go to a local thrift store or flea market, because somebody might very well not know what they have. Another great example would be Jaleco's hockey game. I think it's called Pro Sport Hockey. It's going for about $50 online as well. So, you never know what sports game might be a little less common and might command more dollars, so always, a lot of places never write off all sports games as like, oh, they're all, just cheap games or whatever, nobody wants to play them. But there are some sports games that are actually valuable out there and highly underrated. Up next, loose discs. As much as I love having a bookcase full of games, having loose discs is really convenient, honestly, as far as saving space. I have a plethora of game discs, and it's great, all that extra space. And the other thing too is a lot of stores completely undervalue how valuable some of these loose discs can be. A great example, I went to a thrift store and I got Luigi's Mansion for $2.99 because it didn't have the box. And that's an awesome, so I was really happy to get that. I ended up giving it away in a contest later on, but it's an awesome game. Sure, it is have all your games displayed in their original boxes on a bookshelf, but you know what? To me, collecting games isn't just about collecting, but it's about playing them as well. And I like to play them any way I can. What do you think are undervalued collecting platforms, or types of games, or other undervalued collecting in general? Post your thoughts in the comments if you want. This is all the time I have today for this segment of PK Chats. Thanks for watching and keep on gaming.